This is the Mistel MD770 split keyboard. In a nutshell, it's a keyboard that's been split in half. You may be wondering, why do such a thing? What's the point? Point is ergonomics. By freeing the positioning of both halves of the keyboard to be placed independently of each other, this allows for configurations that allow for much more comfortable typing experiences. That's all well and good though, but just how life-changing is this keyboard? And is it worth the over $100 price tag that it's being sold for? Keep watching to find out here. Hey, it's your boy, the girl, the one and only iPod, coming at you with a Quickie hardware review for the Mistel MD770. This keyboard comes in three versions: basic version, one that connects with Bluetooth wireless, and the one in this review, the RGB edition. Now, not having the Bluetooth version, I can't comment or review on any of the wireless capabilities, but I will be discussing some of the more general things, such as the build quality, the keys and appearance, as well as the ergonomic and general typing experience that comes with shifting from a regular keyboard to one that's split like this. Let's start with the basics. We've been using this keyboard for a little over a month now, and it's the first ergonomic and split keyboard that we've owned. The MD770 is a 10 keyless layout and comes in two colors, a white and a black, with the options for orange lettering or fully blink keys. There are a number of switch types available, though only in the MX Cherry line. We chose MX Blue in ours for that satisfying click and the linear feeling that goes well with typing and office work. The keycaps are double shot PVT and feel really good to the touch. They're smooth and feel durable, and because of the material, they're sure to resist the typical wear that comes with keyboard use over time, such as fading or that odd shine that comes with skin oils when they're left behind on the keys. Of course, being MX switches, you can use any compatible keycaps you wanted and customize the look to your preference. The MD770 comes with a small selection of alternate keycaps as well, such as a longer shift key or a full-size spacebar, for example. On the subject of the keys, here you can get a good look at the double-shot construction, which combines a nice orange under the solid black top coating. We've already found ourselves replacing stock caps lock key with one with a divot in it that makes it feel more distinct from the A key, as well as the special function key with this raised airplane key, further making the key easier to find without having to directly look at the keyboard. All of this is made simple with the included keycap remover. The overall construction of the keyboard is solid. It's not a light keyboard, despite the outer shell being made of plastic, but it does not have any noticeable flex to either half of the board. On the bottom of the board are 6 little holes, 3 on each half, where you can screw in these little rubber feet to get more of a raised tint for comfort purposes. There's only 3 real configurations: flat standard, a positive inversion, and the middle tint, and only with one angle to each. It's kind of a shame considering the more advanced tinting setups of some other keyboards, like the Kinesis line or the Ultimate Hacker keyboard, but to Mistel's credit, the rubber feet are included in the box, and the MD770 doesn't hit the same price tag as some of those others. On the top of the keyboard, there are 4 USB Type-C ports, 2 on each half. One for connecting to a computer, 2 in the middle to connect each half to each other, and 1 for an auxiliary attachment like a number pad. The features this board have include key and function remapping, as well as macro support, with 3 layers of programmable layouts. Now, this board is plug and play, so there's no special software controlling any of this, like some other brands have. This means that macros and the like will all be saved on the board regardless of what computer it's plugged into, with the downside that setting all of this up requires memorizing specific key press combinations and can take some more time than some of the others, as you'll need to repeat these commands for each key or macro that needs to be set up. This also includes activating the Bluetooth in the wireless version and controlling the RGB in the lit version. In addition, the MD770 comes pre-programmed with layouts for not just QWERTY, but also Dvorak and Kolmark. Probably why there's an option to buy the keyboard with a blank set of keys as well. The RGB effects all look nice and run the spectrum of effects that most keyboards with individually lit RGB keys have. All the different effects have controls for both brightness and the speed of the effect. Only the solid light and the breathing effect have full RGB control though, the others randomizing which colors they use, which is kind of a bummer. Needless to say, the keyboard looks very pretty with the addition of the lighting effects. My favorites being this color wave typing effect and this random key crawl one. The auxiliary port can also be used to connect the left half of the board by itself to the computer. But doing so, many of the features of the board go missing, since the right side is the main controller. Depending on your computing needs, the missing things like macro controls and remappable keys may be a deal breaker for using the left half on its own. Now these features are all well and good, but how's the typing experience itself? Well, being that this is our first split keyboard, it did take a little getting used to. Any imperfections in typing habit become clear when using a keyboard in this split configuration, such as with us, a personal tendency to hit the B key with our right index finger, when proper typing habit dictates you hit it with your left one. We ended up settling on using the board split while also using the rubber feet in the middle tent configuration. This, with our home setup, allows for some unusual but pretty comfortable arrangements like these, with the added benefit that at a moment's notice we can position the different halves to suit the moment's comfort. Very useful when laying down. The experience only improves at the office where desk space allows for further spread of the keyboard halves and more options for comfort. I'm not going to talk about the experience with the MX Cherry Blues by themselves, as the key switch selection will mainly fall to personal preference. I do think that it's a bit of a bummer that some of the non-MX alternatives are not being offered for those that do have their favorites. But if you're already at home with the MX line, you'll most likely already have a favorite that you always go for. Now for some typing tests. I'll start with one in standard flat configuration and move on to one in the split configuration with the middle tenting. This will allow you to see just kind of a general sense of how the typing looks on this, as well as get a feel for the sound and noise of the MX Blues. Final thoughts. While the price tag on the MD770 seems steep for a keyboard, being roughly $150 American, the price tag is much lower than many other split and ergonomic keyboards, much less ones with mechanical key switches and RGB lighting. Not to mention, the MD770 maintains a sleek profile for a 10 keyless, meaning it's easy to just toss in a bag and go if you're like us and take it between home and work computers. So it might not be for everyone, but if you're okay with some limits on the ergonomic tilt angles and fine with learning all the key commands for programming macros, if you will be using it across multiple computers, or have restrictions on installing keyboard controller software, then for $150, we think the Mistel MD770 is worth the price for a step in the ergonomic direction. It's a comfortable typing experience with little to get in the way of that.